result at council as we did tonight.
Yeah, we'll have to see what council has to say. I know that a number of people who weren't there today were actually quite supportive of the program. I suspect, though, that you'll see the same result at council. I'm not completely heartbroken because this was always going to be an innovative thing that we wanted to try. And when we ran through the numbers, even I lost a bit of my interest in it, though it was my idea. That said, I would rather go forward with something, give it a go, put some cash in the pockets of some small business people, and see how well it works. And then if it doesn't work, we can do something different next year. But I was willing to give it a try. I'm still willing to give it a try, and I'll still make that case at council. That said, I fully understand the concerns of people who were formerly supporting this, who are now getting a bit nervous about it. There were those who were always opposed to it, and they're going to be opposed to it no matter what that report said. They would have been opposed to it. But I'm interested to know if we can alleviate some of the concerns of those who had supported it in the past.
You know that there were concerns raised from the moment the idea came forward. You know, the idea about we shouldn't be picking winners and losers. And how do we administer this? And, so the fact that the committee did not support this, is this a rebuke of the idea, or is it just what was on the table and you ran out of time?
I really do think it's what was on the table. So that issue of creating winners and losers, I didn't think that question was very well answered today, because it made it sound like it was much more subjective, and that is certainly not how I read it or how I proposed it. That the idea would be that you'd fill out a very simple form, and you would say, look, this is my business, this is how much my costs have gone up, this is what's happened to my bottom line, and this is how many employees I have. And based on that, there'd be a simple mathematical algorithm that would say, all right, this is how much you're eligible for. And that's not really, I think, the program that it was in the nascent stages of being designed today. Could we still create that kind of program between now and council? Let's see.
What about the argument that it wasn't solving the problem of this massive inflation of tax bills based on assessments? And
well, it was never meant to solve that problem. If this really wasn't about taxes, that wouldn't be proper. The program we had to do that, the P-TIP, just didn't work very well. It was a blunt instrument. So, your pizza shop got $50 and your giant shopping mall got millions of dollars, and that was really not the point. And so what the idea was here was to say, look, this isn't solving all your problems, but I think if I were a small business and I got a little cash in my pocket, the example that Councillor DeMong brought up is, look, if my flower shop got $1,000, that would give me the opportunity to do a bunch of flyering in my neighborhood, and I could probably increase my sales by $10,000, and that's really worth it, and that might help me save a part-time job. And that's really, I think, what the point here was, that the amount of money you're getting isn't going to save your business, but if you could invest it in a way that can actually help you with your top-line revenues, that's what really matters. The whole conversation we've had focused on the property taxes kind of misses the point, which is the real problem businesses are having is they're not making enough money to cover their costs. So the restaurant owner who said, look, people used to spend $15 at lunch, now my average bill is $10. Well, that's a 33% decline in her revenues. So we have to figure out how to get her a little more money. There was another restaurant owner who said, listen, if I could have 2 more tables every night for dinner, I would be totally fine. And so the question is, how do we help people get there?
if this is defeated at council, what happens next? I understand there's a task force, there's a working group. Can you explain
A
what those are
million
doing?
more meetings.
Oh boy.
You know, it does mean we've still set aside that $70.9 million. And if there's a better way to spend that money, to put money into small, and council doesn't like this, but there's another way to put money into the pockets of business people, I'm happy to look at it.
But for the non-residential property taxpayer, who last 2 years, yeah, there was the PTP. This year, there could have been something else. Now it's
There still could be something else.
Okay, but if
There still could
potentially
be.
nothing.
So right now, this year for that business owner, we've reduced their non-residential property tax by 2% almost. And there's still this money that, you know, I hope that council will not just give up, but will figure out a way to get that money into the pockets of those business owners this year.
It's possible that some of that 70 million could still be used on something else, like you were mentioning, the, you know, support local business. You could really beef that.
Yeah, we could, but for me, I want to figure out a way to get cash into people's hands.
You can't just do PTP again, can you?
I mean, we could. It's too late to put it on the tax bill. But I would imagine there might be a way to just put a credit on people's accounts. So even if they pay their full tax bill, they'll end up with a little bit of a bonus, a little bit of a credit that they can put against their next tax bill. So there are ways to get that. It's just, again, a very blunt program that didn't have quite the impact I was hoping it would have had.